Hi guys, good evening. I hope you're having a lovely day. If you've got an oil, grab one and just take a moment to ground yourself, get in the moment. If you're hopping on live, you can say hello. And if you're on the replay, obviously say hello, ask questions. We are always here to chat. So tonight's chat is going to be about why you want to start a side business. So most people nowadays are looking for another source of fulfillment and another source of income. This was not always, commonplace. It was a little bit like, ooh, well, like, don't you like your job? Or, ooh, like, oh, you can't take on too much, or I don't have time, or, ooh, don't you like make enough? Like, there's all these, old faux pas around starting your own business or just having another source of income. So having another source of income and another source of fulfillment that is outside of, your sole job is so empowering. It is so uplifting, especially in today's day and age. Social selling, network marketing, whatever you want to call it, is super accessible, right? It is just really commonplace. It's things that we always do. All of us refer our friends to things that we love and we use, and we want to help other people feel better. So social selling is just a natural kind of thing in today's day and age, and especially in today's market, the last few years, having another source of income is huge, 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 huge help. This might be you. You may have had, issues with your job the last couple of years, or you might feel like, oh, I want a different job, or you might, have more expenses and things like that. Like, having another source of income is just a beautiful way to, fulfill your life in different ways. So we are going to chat with some different ladies tonight from our Sun and Moon community. If we've not met, my name is Rachel. I have been a registered nurse for 7 years. And I've been growing my Young Living business, my side business, for 6 years. So basically I've done the exact same time, which is a really cool, I think, perspective that I bring to this, because sometimes I think in network marketing, people, advertise it as like, oh, you're going to, quit your job and make millions of dollars. And yes, that's great. For some people, they can and they want to. But for a lot of people, what's really impactful is making $100 a month, or $200 a month, or covering their product, or making $500 a month, or $1,000 a month, right? And that is a more realistic place where a lot of people are in network marketing, is having a side income versus wanting to take over their full income. So wherever place you are, whether you're just like curious, want to say hello, listen into, our stories and how it works, or you're somebody that wants to make, $100, or you're someone who wants to make 1,000, or you're like, yep, this is it. This is for me. This is what I want as a full-time job, not just a side business, right? There's all that range within network marketing and Young Living. So we're going to talk to 3 beautiful ladies in our Sun and Moon community. I'm going to call each of them on one at a time, because I don't think we can all get on with Instagram. So if you are out there and you want to request, and if you can't, just type in the chat. I think I should be able to request you. We're going to do some questions together, and we'll hear a bit about their stories. And the cool part is in network marketing, you are in total control of, what happens. There we go. I think it worked. Maybe not. You are in control of what happens, with your life, with your business. You're in control of what you put into it. And it's just really unique and personal. So, Des, I'm so excited to have you. Thank you for hopping on. Okay, I've got a few questions for you, and if there's anything you want to share, of course, please feel free. First, tell us a little bit about yourself, for those of us that do not know you or your story.
So if you don't know me, I started with Young Living about 3 years ago. I was using and loving the products for about a year. I struggle with a lot of chronic pain and inflammation. I have scoliosis, and then right now we're actually trying to figure out what else I am dealing with on top of that. And basically, to sum it up quickly, I was tired of feeling like crap and in pain.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking every over-the-counter pain med, Tylenol, Advil, and I was just taking it so consistently that eventually I started to feel like crap literally all the time.
Uh-oh, I think she cut out. Okay, well, we'll see if Des can hop back on. Let's see if I can request her. I have been lucky enough to know Des for the last few years. Like she said, we met through a friend that shared with another friend, and added them into our community, and that's just how we got connected. So another cool part of having a side business is that you get to meet a lot of people as well. So I can't see Des, but perhaps she can see me. I think I hear you.
I can
No.
I can see me. I don't know.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't see you, but that's okay if we can just hear you, I guess. Does that
Okay.
work for you?
Yeah.
Oh, Felicia sees you, so maybe it's just my screen. Okay, cool. So you started using Young Living products for um, pain reasons, which is, I think, something that is so overlooked is that people have these pain points, right? Whether it's physically pain or like a pain point of like, I'm suffering in this way, whether it is a physical issue, emotional, mental issue, whether it's an income issue. And having that ability to say that, you found something to support you is just a beautiful story. So, Des is also a mom of a beautiful little girl, Elena. So, kind of tell me what is something that you love about having a Young Living business, because I'm sure that wasn't like on your radar at first when you started using the products, right?
Yeah, I definitely at the beginning was that person that was like, yeah, no, not interested, not for me, I can't do that, which obviously isn't true. um, but I was actually pregnant with Elena when I started kind of hearing more about the business and seeing people share. And at that time, I was actually working at a vet clinic and was temporarily laid off because of COVID, and like was really stressing out. First time mom, need
Mm-hmm.
needs to be ready for this baby, and I was terrified. So that is when I dove into this. And something that I really loved about the community or the business is just
Mm-hmm.
the community of people. And like, I mean, like what's not to love? We have such amazing and resources that are available to us 24/7. And like, I feel with the world
Mm-hmm.
so much and being a first time mom, I was feeling like
Yeah.
very like alignment and lonely. It was just something that was there to give me that extra fulfillment and like
Mm-hmm.
passion and joy and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you get to choose, right? Which I think is cool. Is like you get to pick people that that you align with and you want in your world, which is really special too. So that is something that I would say is open to anyone, whether they want to just purchase products or whether they want to start a business with Young Living, is that, community aspect, right? We've got a Facebook group, we do local events. What is it about the business that you love that is not like anyone could have it if they just use the products? What is it about the business that you love?
Up and go whenever you want to. Something like I can spend that time with Elena and Eric and my family, and I can do the work at the same time. Like I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to leave and go somewhere for 12 hours to make an income. Or
Mm-hmm.
just having that kind of like I can do this when it feels good. I don't need to like, wake up, feel like crap and be like, oh, like shoot, I need to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that flexibility and that time freedom, right? To be able to do something on your own terms, on your own time, when it feels good. And that doesn't mean that it's like you're never going to do it, because some people are like, "Whoa, would I go to work if I didn't have to, or if I didn't need to make an income, would I go to work?" But I think that for me, anyways, the difference about having a business is you do it because you want to and because you enjoy it. So you're going to want to do it, maybe not all day every day, which is okay, but like you said, just having that flexibility and time freedom, right? Can you hear me, Des?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't see you still, so as long as everyone else can. Okay, so I know that you, as well as myself, we are both really into personal development, and that is a huge piece of growing a business, is like the learning about yourself and the growth that actually comes from that. Like, I don't think people realize when they get into social selling or network marketing that they're going to learn so much about themselves, about how to grow, about maybe some issues and things that we have to work on. But that's one of the most beautiful gifts. So I'd love to hear what you think about the role of personal development in business and how important that is to you, or something that's done for you.
I think it's definitely like a very important part. Like over the past 3 years, I've learned more about myself than I think I ever have.
Mhm.
And like it's a really good feeling to have. And like I truly believe that your business is gonna grow just as much as you do. And if
Mhm.
you don't believe in yourself, why would anybody else, right? So I think it's just like this
Mhm.
which makes me so emotional. But it's just like having that support of other people and knowing you're not alone and like you can
Mhm.
do anything that you put or sorry, you can truly do anything that you put your mind to. And like if you want something and like truly want it, you're gonna go for it. You're gonna go out there and get it. And yeah, it's just
Mhm.
grow a lot and yeah, sometimes
Mhm.
it'll bring you to your knees sometimes, but it's so worth it in the end.
Yeah, and that's what growth is, right? Like it's not going to be easy all the time, and it's not going to probably feel good all the time. But I know you over the last 3 years, and I have seen like all the ladies that are going to talk tonight, probably tear up. I've seen just like it, and in myself too. So you guys didn't know me when I first started my business 6 years ago. You guys, I think, all know me for 1 to 3 years between you. But the men's, yeah, growth and like self-love and confidence. And it's not just in your business. Like when you start to do this business and you start to work on that personal development piece, it trickles into every other area of your life. So my nursing is better, my relationships are better, my business is better, my friendships are better because I'm learning more about me and I'm around, positive, supportive people. Like that's something that's such a gift that I don't think we always get in, our traditional day jobs is that support and someone who truly wants you to succeed and can, like give you a little bit of tough love, but also show you that, you're amazing and you can do anything, right? So that's just something that is so beautiful about it. So is there something that you love, you would say like your top personal development thing that you like to do, Des?
I'm gonna go. I have a lot, but I think journaling has been one of like the things that I've been really into over the past year, and just like
Mm-hmm.
I personally really like writing, and sometimes I'm better at like writing things out versus just like speaking
Mm-hmm.
and having that kind of sense of like. I mean, I hope no one's reading your journal if that's something you.
Oh, it's like my sister's reading my diary when I was little. It was not good. Not good. Yeah, and that's cool because I don't journal. So it just shows like how many different, avenues there are for supporting yourself and growing in different ways. And I think I want to share too is that you said, how much confidence you have is you that doesn't happen probably at the beginning. And yes, there are some people that are, just born really, confident and magnetic, but that wasn't me. Like that's not a lot of people, right? Um, Not a lot of people are, strong in themselves and their, worth and their skills and all that kind of stuff. But those things can, be learned and grown, and that's just a gift too. Okay, I got one last question for you. So, what would you say is one piece of advice you have for someone who says they're curious about young living, how to make a side income, but they're unsure how they can make it fit or work or be successful?
And all I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Freaking do it. Go for it. Like, like seriously, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen?
Hmm. Yeah, and when you say go for it, like actually jump in, right? Like don't just like, tell yourself, yeah, I'm doing it now, and then like don't do anything any day or like avoid doing some of, the tasks that you might need to do to grow your business or, to grow yourself. Like if you say you want this and you actually want it, then hop in, right? Like what's the
Yeah,
worst that can happen? I love that. Great. Okay, Des, anything else that you wanted to share with us?
I think that's everything.
Okay, well, thanks for hopping on. If you want to exit out, I will grab our next person. Felicia's going to join us. Okay, let's see if we can get Felicia on. And I hope I can see her. It's not as fun without seeing.
Oh.
Oh, I see a plant. Oh, that's you. Of course it's you. Like, you're so funny. Okay, well, I met Felicia a couple years ago on Instagram. I don't even know how we got connected at first,
No.
or like who followed who or how that went. But that's again also the really cool thing about social media and social selling and your business is like it's meant to be social, right? You're meant to find people that you get along with. And yeah, you'll probably find some people you don't or do and then don't or whatever, but like that's life. So I think it's so cool that we met on Instagram and we both live in the same city, which is also cool. So then we can hang out. So tell us a little bit about your story and who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Felicia. So my full-time job, I work in the same hospital as well as Rachel, which is like crazy. Um, but I'm a therapy assistant full-time, and I've been kind of like a brand partner with Young Living for about a little over a year consistently using the products, and kind of I dove into it right away when I started using the products consistently. But I've actually had an account for 2 years, and I love like sharing this because it is kind of special. Like you and I, like we connected on Instagram. I won one of your giveaways like 2 years ago, and it was like a product credit, and I got peace and calming. That was the first ever oil I got, and I still like love to this day. And then like throughout the year, I didn't get into oils or natural products at all. I dabbled into the cleaner, which I fell in love with maybe like a couple months in, and then like maybe a couple oils, and that was it. And then back in, when was it? It was in maybe December. It was like last December, I kind of was like, Kate, like heard about essential words, and I just like dove in, like just sporadically, just randomly, and then I was on ER forever and fell in love with the product,
So
fell in
what
love
is
with the
ER?
community.
People are like, what the hell is
Sorry,
that?
yeah. Essential rewards. So it's our customizable wellness box where you kind of earn points and you kind of change up your order every month of what you need, and you get like points back. You get freebies. You've tried new things. Like it's like seriously the best thing ever, honestly.
It is. And I actually remember when it was. It was November because because it was Black Friday. Because I remember about how I
Oh,
was talking
yeah.
about how it is better than Black Friday sales because
Yes.
it's that good. So that's how I
Yes.
remember.
And I truly just started using, I think I really got into the oils because of like my anxiety, and I'm using it as like a tool to support, like another kind of tool to use. And then I just kind of went from
Mhm.
there.
Yeah,
Fall
and I think that
in love.
is so cool that, for the at the time, I'm sure you were obviously curious a little bit because you entered a giveaway and you got an oil, and after that it was kind of like, I don't know, maybe, but it took something, for you personally, right? Like I said, everybody has that, pain point or stress point that, there comes a time when you're like, this is enough, or I want to feel, I want to feel differently, or I want to do something differently, or be supported in a different way. And that's when most people are like, yep, okay, want to try this. So I think
Yeah.
it's really cool that most people in Young Living, so we have like 90% customers, and that is so cool because it just shows how much people love our products. We've got a 40% retention rate, which is huge in network marketing. Again, that shows how many people just love these products and want to use them for themselves. And this is a side note, but one reason I love, being a brand partner and just Young Living as a whole is that there is, how some companies are like, oh, well, I'll sign up to be, an ambassador and I'll get this for free. Like, that's not what Young Living is about. And I love that because every single person pays the same. So that means that, you're not getting less or more because you choose to sell or not sell. But if you choose to sell, it's because you really, you have that deep calling for it, right? You want to serve people, you want to help people, you want to make an income, you want others to feel better. So it's not because you're just going to like get something for free. And I love that. Like we all pay the same.
And
And
I
if
think,
you choose it, it's because you love it, right?
yeah. And I think for me too, like I started like I didn't plan on doing the business. I was actually like I'll dive into this in a little bit, but like I was currently in actually another network marketing company when I started sharing more Young Living, and then it just kind of became it like authentic and felt good for me, and then it just became a thing, and I earned a paycheck and it felt good, and I was helping other people
Yeah.
get these products and feel good and get excited. So it kind of was just like it just felt right, which is important, I think, for anything
Yeah.
you do, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think with Young Living, because of that, you're not getting things cheaper, is you have to be intentional with it. Like it's not just like you're accidentally like, I don't know how to explain that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You actually have to choose to do it, right? And I really do love that. So, how did you get into social selling, network marketing? Like you said, you were in another company first. So maybe if you want to share why you kind of originally started and then how that kind of shifted to Young
Yeah.
Living.
So actually, like I shared about this a while ago. Like I was like just reflecting kind of in the past couple of years. So like I love my full-time job. Um, like I love it, but like I always felt like I needed something more, like not just like financially, but just kind of something else on the side. I always
Mm-hmm.
kind of was longing for something else. And I knew I didn't want to go back to school 100%. I knew that wasn't my thing. There was like a time I was actually even like applying to like retail stores, like my favorite like clothing stores and like stuff like that too, because I wanted to just do something on the side and make cash. And I applied even to these places, got no call back. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then a girlfriend and I started actually a little bandana,
I remember
custom
that.
bandana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's when we started maybe chatting. So that was like,
I
yeah,
think
then
so.
2 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
So we started, I was making bandanas for like my friends and family, and that was like so fun, and like was able to like be creative. And but it just like COVID happened, started, and it kind of just didn't work out. And then
Mm-hmm.
that kind of ended. And then once COVID started, I started with another network marketing company, and that was kind of like my introduction into all things network marketing and multi-level marketing. Um, and it was good for the time, but like I kind of felt like I thrived during it. I think it was 9 months I was in it, but there was something like missing. Like it didn't feel like authentically me when I was like sharing about it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, Young Living kind of came, like we were chatting about earlier, into my life, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then it just kind of worked, and I feel like I feel good sharing about it. I feel good talking to other people about it. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's important in doing
Mm-hmm.
something like network marketing, right? Like it needs to feel good, or else like then
Yeah.
what's the
And
point of
like
doing it?
with the preface that like you're gonna do some things that you're scared of or like that are uncomfortable for you, right? Like doing a class like a live like this, I would not have done, not have
No,
done.
oh, that
Like
was,
no.
no,
If you've seen
no.
some of my original videos that I when I started my business, like they're horrible. That I'm still sweaty, but they were like really sweaty, really awful. So yes, you want to feel good, but you also have to know why you're doing it. So like what's your deep why? Why are you actually wanting this? Because if it's something that you want, even regardless of business, anything in life, you're probably gonna have to do some things that you're uncomfortable with. And that doesn't mean that they don't, feel good in the end or as a whole, but it might be scary at the time, right? And I think that's sometimes why people in social selling kind of get cold feet or like don't really try, like Des says, like, just try it. And they like kind of do, or they say they do, but they don't really do anything, is because of fear. So it's probably going to be scary. You're probably going to suck. Like that's just the way life is,
And
right?
but like and what is that like thing where it's like you don't grow in comfort zones, right? And so that's with
Mm,
like anything, like
yeah,
challenging yourself,
yeah,
and yeah, like growing in that sense,
hmm,
like Des was
yeah,
saying before, like what could go wrong for trying
yeah,
and putting yourself out there, right?
yeah. And I think feeling good just as like that it aligns with you, right? Like you and I have talked about this, and
Exactly.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
if you want to share about it, but um, because we work together, in business, we've talked a lot about, you know, authentically connecting with people and maybe things that, you were kind of told to do before that didn't really resonate with you. And like, to me, that's like oh, feels good, doesn't feel good sign, right? Even though both might be scary to, connect with a new person. Um, but the fact of like, ooh, I'm being told to do this, don't love it, or like, oh, I really enjoy this, right? That's kind of like your gauge of, does it feel good, does it not feel good, even though
Oh,
both are scary. Right? Like
no.
people's scary. That's just the way life is, right? It just that's life. So I think that's a cool piece of it, is that, growth that you'll have from it. So
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so how do you make it fit in with your life, family, and work to have a side business?
So like biggest thing is it doesn't take hours of your day all day, 24 hours a day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for this, which is beautiful. And it comes, I think, in like seasons of your life too. You kind of fit it in pockets throughout the day. So when you're kind of, and like I said, it kind of ebbs and flows. And just finding time where, like for me, for example, like I feel really good connecting in the mornings, doing kind of my planning in the mornings when I'm feeling good, and picking times when I feel like every day is different in what I do, but kind of being intentional with our time too is kind of the biggest thing.
I think that is like number one is just your priorities,
Well,
not
and I
having
think
to choose, all of something or all of nothing, right?
Yeah, and I think too, like this business is, I think the beauty of this business is it like it's supposed to like fit into your life, not like the other way around, right? So kind of seeing how like I've been going through many different changes and seasons these last like 6 months, and I feel like finding a flow and finding a good flow where it feels right, is the biggest thing. And there's going to be some months where maybe you aren't putting in the work as much, but like when you do put in the work you see the results. And if you're putting in the work, doing that work, doing that personal development you and Des chatted about, you'll see results and you'll feel good, and it'll show, right?
I think with having your own business and just like the entrepreneurial space is it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like you have the freedom and flexibility. You choose when you want to work. You got the freedom and flexibility, so maybe you won't work, right? So there's kind of this toss up. So like you said, being really intentional with, well, why do you want to do this? What things bring you joy, what don't? Maybe there's some things that you're like, oh, well, this person does that, but that doesn't align with me. Great, then don't do it. Or what you choose to spend your time on. I know for me it was, as much as I can, I try schedule classes and events on times when my partner is away working, so that frees up time for us, right? Like you choose, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
But you choose and then you do, right? Not you
Yeah.
choose and
Well,
then don't do anything, because then you're not going to
yeah.
get results.
Yeah.
And like we
Well,
said,
and you're
in
not
every
doing
different season, right?
yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so what are some actions that you do each day, week, or month that grow your business? So somebody's like, I literally don't know what a social seller does. Like, what do you do?
Yeah. So you and Des touched on it, and I think personal development is like first and foremost thing that comes to my mind when I think about that question. Because if you're not working on yourself and if you're not filling up your cup, like how are you going to authentically share and put your heart into something like this business if you're not feeling fulfilled yourself and not growing yourself, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. And it's like kind of amazing because even in that other network marketing company too, they really touched base a lot on personal development and that stuff. So I kind of dabbled into that. That's where I kind of started kind of focusing on like that stuff, and then it just kind of bloomed from there. And like I'm really big on mental health. Like I deal with anxiety, and I feel like it has helped, like being again intentional with that stuff. It has really helped me grow into the person and who I am today than who I was a year ago when I first started, and like someone I'm proud of. So it's like it's a beautiful thing. Even if like you're not in business, it's something I think everyone needs to be practicing regardless. So first and foremost that, and another thing kind of, I would say is like just kind of starting to like show your face kind of online. It's scary, kind of like what we were saying earlier. I mean, like, again, like things aren't going to happen in comfort zones. Like it feels good staying in comfort zones because it's safe. But going outside of the comfort zone is where you get challenged and you grow the most. So whether that's sharing like my personal life, kind of showing like who I am as a person, the things I love, the things I'm loving with the products that I'm obviously selling as well too, and sharing those things and how I use them. And like, of course, like I don't love absolutely everything. And I think that's important to kind of say, right? Like everyone's like different, and sharing things that I love could show for others and can help others too. And just genuinely being
myself, right? Being me, being you. You and I are two completely different people. You show up differently than I do. And I think that's so beautiful, right? And you kind of meet people that are that kind of aligned to who you are, and your people kind of come and follow along your journey. And like connecting with those people. So, and that's just not just about being products either. Like, of course, like that might come in because like I use these products all the time. So like I obviously, it will come in with conversation, but like I've built so many amazing friendships, whether they want these products or don't. Like I have built such beautiful connections and friendships with like so many amazing people. And yeah, and then just like once you start building your business, then I'm like connecting with the customers that I do have and checking in on them and like their products. And obviously using my products, which is the easiest part because how can you share something without using them, right? So that's what, but and like I was saying too, like it doesn't and these things kind of ebb and flow. They are not taking hours of my day. It's fitting into my life. And like if I'm feeling good one day, maybe I'm connecting and doing these things more one day versus the other day, right? But doing these things and being intentional and doing authentically too, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't want these things to be forced either.
No, and I think people can feel that, right? Like people feel if your energy is not there and you're just forcing
Yeah.
something, or people feel if, you're only talking to them to get a sale. And like sales are not a bad thing. Sales are really beautiful and they're amazing. They're, an act of service. We help support someone who has a need, whether it be, for me, it was acne and hair loss. For you, it was emotional support. For Des, it was pain. We're grateful for the people that sold us these products because they help support us so much, right? So that's something I always think of in my mind too, is I'm selling and I'm serving someone, right?
Yeah,
I am
absolutely.
supporting them and serving them, and that's just a beautiful thing too. All of what you said, all I could think about was like there's so much, love and support and like just that touch point with people, right? It's just having that connection and community and all of that. So it's a beautiful feeling to, be able to do it. And you choose, right? So some days like, no, I'm feeling a little, tired after work. Do I need to respond to people instantly? No. Like
No.
that's again the beauty of your business is, you choose and make those boundaries and priorities, which is really, really special too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I
Cool.
agree.
Well, do you have anything else that you wanted to share?
No, I think that's it. No, thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Fine. We'll
Okay.
get Melissa on next. Let's see. Where are you? Let's see if she will hop on with us. I've known Melissa. I don't know, Melissa. How long have we known each other now?
I think almost 3 years since I've been
Yeah,
with.
maybe.
Yeah.
So about 3 years. Melissa and I met through one of my best friends I met on Instagram. Again, great place to meet friends. And we both really love and support her business, and that's how we connected. And we connected about oils. And I've been lucky enough to travel to the next province over and visit Melissa. And it's been a true honor to see you grow so much over the last few years as a woman and a mom and a businesswoman. I'm just, yeah, I'm excited to hear you share. So tell us a little bit about your story.
So yeah, I'm Melissa. I'm a mom to three amazing daughters, and the reason why I started was I was also looking for emotional support. I was going through some depression and anxiety, but I also wanted more natural products in my homes for me and my girls. I was somewhat familiar with essential oils and how they were able to help us, but it just made sense for me to start with the starter bundle. And it also made sense for me to start with essential rewards. I was very interested in how I had the ability to earn free products every month and also earn points back every month. And when I first started, they had a promo that after 9 months you got a diffuser. So I was like, okay, I'm going to rewards until I get that free diffuser, and then I'll go to just ordering whatever. That I had no interest in sharing. I wanted the product in my home. but I fell in love with the products and I saw how the products were helping me. Specifically, Valor was just like my aha moment, and how much it like just grounded me and gave me that extra boost of confidence. And that's how I
Mm-hmm.
with my friends and family. And then I think it was my friend Steph that started pushing me. She's like, you should start sharing this on your social media. And it's like, oh, no, I'm not ready for that. If people know me, I actually hate public speaking. Like I hate it to my core. And I don't know if you, maybe in the beginning it would have showed, but now like I've fallen in love with it, and it's helped me with my career, which I love, but I always hated the public speaking side of things. So it's given me that confidence that I can actually, I still hate it, but I'm better at it than I used to be. So that was
Well, you
huge.
did just say you love it as well. So you mean it's still a little uncomfortable, but you actually like it.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Cool
easy.
part is I just heard you say it also helps you with your job, which is I think something that sometimes people, go they don't think about it, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to start a side business. It's going to take away from my family or take away from my work, but it actually complements your life. Like you have learned things through your business and through a community that support you in work. I have definitely learned a ton, in my business that relates to nursing and just, how you communicate with people and how you support others, right? Like it's so cool because we are not homework life or like home life, work life, home, like, we're one person, right? So to have all of that kind of all encompass is really, really cool. I love it. Okay, so Melissa, what is something that you love about having a Young Living business?
For me, I love the connection. Getting on and sharing on social media, I find for me it's therapeutic. Like it's almost
Mm-hmm.
therapy for me. So I love that. And I also love that it's so easy to do because I'm sharing about products that I love and then I'm using in my
Mm-hmm.
home. And by helping people get the products in their home, I'm helping others, but I'm also helping me and my family by doing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's cool that you said that. I think we've chatted about this before. I also find it therapeutic. Like some people that think social media is like a chore. It's not. It feels really good. And someone coming from someone who didn't have a lot of confidence and not a lot of friends, I enjoy that part of it, that it's social, that you make friends and connections. And especially during the last couple of years, you don't have to see people necessarily face to face to have a really great, connection and support system. And like you said, like it's therapy, sharing about your life, sharing about things that you choose. You don't have to share everything and your entire life, but you choose. It is journaling, right? Like Felicia just said, it's like a journal in a way, which is really cool. And helping people feel better is so huge because like hearing your story of like I've heard your progestin story, I've heard your valor story, like I'm sure I've cried at many of your hearing your stories, but those that's people out there that are, going through the same struggles. And if we can make it easier for them, how could we not tell them, right? Like, how could you go and keep that to ourselves without telling someone, right? That's just powerful. Cool. Okay, so what would you say to someone who says, I just don't know enough to start a side business or to start sharing Young Living and selling?
Similar to Des, just try it and share about what you know and what you and then for me, I jumped into all the different resources that we have with events, which gave me more knowledge. And I
Mm-hmm.
ask for help and reach out to other members that have been doing it longer. Or if someone asks me about a product that I don't use in my home, I can be honest with them and say, you know what, I'm not familiar with that, but let me ask
Mm-hmm.
my members for some feedback and I'll get back to you. So that's
Mm-hmm.
huge. I can't know everything. There's way too many products, and what I love, you might not love. So
Mm-hmm.
for everybody's household and what you're using in your home. So for me, I just found it was easy to share about what I'm using, what I love, and why I'm using it in my home. So that's how I would say, just start with, if you're only using Valor, then share about Valor and how it's
Yeah.
helped, right? If that's the only product in your home, just share about what you know and love. And then from there, you'll grow.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you said like soaking in the education. It's not about like knowing more than I will be able to help people. It's like knowing more for yourself. I've watched things that it's called, oh, it's an oils 101 class. Ah, I've been using oils for 6 years. I will listen and I'm like, I've never heard that tip before. That is so cool. Or I'll remember and I'll be like, oh, I heard this person talk about this. And then someone else asked me a question about it. I'm like, yeah, I know a friend who has that, right? It's just that really, supportive, open community. And what I love to do is when people will ask me questions, they probably hate it, but I love doing it. When people ask me questions, I just say, would you be okay with asking that in our member group? We have over 300 people. I think we have 400 people in our member group now that we can all share, right? I could tell you what I have used or maybe what's worked for me, but to post that in there and have so many other people for a resource. And if you're scared to do it and you're part of our community, like ask me, I'll post it anonymously. But having that when other people can, jump in and say, this worked for me. Oh, that didn't really work for me. Like that's so supportive, right? You're not on your own. And I think that's something that's also different about, buying your oils, let's say from like a Walmart or a dollar store. Like the quality is one thing, but you won't have that support that you do, which is so, so cool.
Mm-hmm. I really agree. I love the support that comes with it.
Yeah, me too.
Or
Okay, so last question. Why is it important to you to have another source of fulfillment and income outside of your job? Because I know that you love your job. So, what is it about having those other sources of fulfillment and income that keeps you going with your Young Living business?
For me, I love that I'm earning enough back that it pays for my order every month. And then for me, yeah, it's the connection. Similar to Felicia, I've connected with so many people since doing this. Not all of them are members, but I have earned friendships with them. And that's what I think is truly amazing. And that the support that comes with it. I had taken like a step back for a few months and people were reaching out to say, I haven't seen you online. Is everything okay? So like that was huge to me. Someone I've never met before, but they noticed I wasn't sharing on my social media. For them to reach out and ask if everything, it's the connection that I make. That's what I love about it. And yeah, if I'm making a little bit of extra income that's going to help me and my family, then that's huge for me.
Yep, I don't think anybody's been like, I just don't want really any extra income. That's funny you said that because the last couple years have been tough. We've lost my dog and then my cat, and like you'll be amazed at like how many people love you and like they're there watching you. And I always encourage people like talk to people. Like social media is meant to be social. You're supposed to talk to people. That's what it's about, right? Don't just be like watching. But it is amazing how many people during times of things like that, when you're having a hard time, that people will reach out and say like, do you need anything? Or like, how can I help you? Or, I'm really thinking of you. That's community and that's connection. And that's, what social media is. And when you choose to pair that with a business and, like with our company Young Living, you kind of get that like full blast, right? You get like all of that goodness and then the people to support you. And like Felicia and Des mentioned that, personal growth and just being able to check on each other. We've all had, us ladies have had lots of stuff happen the last few years, and the way that everybody's, rallied together and supported each other, like that's something that you don't always get at your workplace, right?
Absolutely. And that's the reason why I love it, is that like when you are having something difficult go through your life, you can take a step back and then right there waiting for you when you're ready to start, because it's you that has to show up for you with this business. And with my other job, I can take a leave of absence or a stress leave, but that's not helping me either, because then you're not bringing in as much income, if that makes sense. But that's what I love. I'm not required to show up 8 to 5 for this job. I get to set of what works for me and my household and when I want to show up and share. And if I need to take a step back, I can, but I know they're waiting for me when I'm ready to get right back into it again.
Yeah. And you choose it because it feels good. Like you said, you're choosing it because it's not that 8 to 5, Monday to Friday gig. I think that's so cool that everybody that shared tonight has a full-time job. 2 out of 4 of us have kids. So it's anyone and everyone can do this. No, it's not for everybody, but every single person can, right? If they choose, you have to align with the products, you have to align with the company, you have to align with the community, whether it's ours or someone else that you're watching and following. Those things are important because like we've obviously all shared the last almost hour how connected we all are. So you want to enjoy the products, the company, and the people that you're in business with. So those are really important things, and they're also really big gifts. Is you get to choose those things. It's not a lot of people unfortunately don't necessarily love their job. Like I know all of us do love our job, and I'm sure maybe not all day, every day, but when you choose a side business, you get to choose those things. You get to choose who you work with. So that's just really powerful too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Anything else that you want to share, Melissa?
No, I think that's it for me too.
All right, ladies. Well, that was beautiful. If you have any questions about whether it's Young Living products, whether you want a free wellness assessment, you have questions for any of us, or you're curious about the business piece, we have a product member group, and then we have a business group as well. So if you are curious about that, just let us know, and we will obviously chat with you.
Thanks for
Okay.
inviting me.
Bye, Melissa.
Night.